Hey guys, welcome back. So you have started a trial run. You've started reflecting and noticing what's going good, what's not going so well. How am I doing? How are we making progress? And now it's time to consider realignment. That's why I created this realignment guide. This is basically a troubleshooting guide. This is when on your reflection worksheet you are noticing things that are a little off. Maybe way off, or maybe just, something's not right. I need to realign myself. So this is a 5-step guide. The first step, the first thing you need to do is step back. What I mean by step back. Step back as if you were not in the situation and look at it as objectively as possible. Try to remove all the emotions from it if you can. Of course, probably you can't, but try to be as objective as possible, looking at the situation, and also be graceful. If this were one of your best friends and happening to them, how would you advise them? How would you feel about it? Because usually we don't give ourselves enough grace, and sometimes things are just hard, and that is what you need. But also, you need to be objective about it, because sometimes we're too easy on ourselves too. So try to be objective and graceful. That's step number 1. Step back from the situation, look at it from the outside. Number 2 is define the issue or problem. Define what is really going on. Is this a problem with curriculum? Is this a problem with a relationship? Is this a problem with how we're managing our time or managing our household? What is the actual issue, the root problem? And sometimes you won't be able to figure it out right away, but if you find one and then you go deeper and deeper, eventually you're going to find the root of the problem. And usually the root of the problem is either due to a misaligned expectation where you have expected way too much or not enough, or you have miscommunicated that expectation, or the person you are dealing with has miscommunicated to you their expectation. This is a time where those counsels are so important. Keeping those lines of communication open are so important, because many times, especially in family life, it is just because the perspective is different. There's a different way of learning, different way of thinking, and there's been a miscommunication, or 2 totally different expectations of the issue are going on. So that's when you need to define what is actually happening, what is the problem, and then we can move on to a solution after that. So number 1, step back, be objective and graceful. Number 2, define the issue. What is the exact issue? And try to figure out, is this an expectation issue, a miscommunication issue, or something entirely different? Then number 3, you're going to want to go back to those counsel. This is where you counsel with your family, trusted confidants. I pray. This is where you also counsel with yourself and maybe do some meditation and think, how am I responsible for this issue? And get some opinions from trusted people and possible solutions, especially people that are involved in the situation, because they are invested in it, right? And they're going to be working with you to find and create a solution. Then number 4, you're going to want to do some research. Now, this research can be done with people you know, with actual people. This can be done online, in books. But a couple things you want to think about is make sure it's a reliable and trusted source, not just some random person off the internet. This person either has significant experience in it, or you are a friend of them and you trust them, or it is a very trusted institution, something like that. Also, make sure you give yourself some guidelines. I know for myself that sometimes I'll be like, well, I need to research this, and I keep researching and researching and researching and researching. And pretty soon, no progress is made because I have not made a decision on it. So give yourself some guidelines. Say, okay, I'm going to research on this for a day or a week, or maybe it's a really big decision and needs a month of research. I suggest not going over a month. That's just taking it too far. But make sure you give yourself some guidelines on how long am I going to look into this before we decide. Then number 5, you are going to want to make a clear decision and confirm it. So you have done your stepping back and looking at it objectively, being graceful. You have defined the issue or problem. You have counseled with those that care about it, and you have done some research. Now it is time for a decision. You make a decision and you confirm it with the people that are going to be involved in executing that solution. And also if, like for me, I pray about it and make sure that I receive that confirmation that this is the right choice to move forward. You may want to do some meditation, whatever confirms it with you, but you definitely want to confirm it with the people that are going to be working on the solution with you. And then you move forward. So guys, I hope this process helps you make some realignment when things are a little bit off, and they will, but it's okay because there is always a solution. So be sure you print that out and be able to work through that whenever you have an issue come up, and you will pretty sure get things aligned exactly the way you want them to and create the life that you love. We'll see you in the next video, guys.